Hey friends, welcome back to another video. My name's Lefebvre, and today we are continuing with our 12 days of card making. And today we're going to be painting a beautiful yet simple winter wreath. So let's jump in and get started. Okay friends, today we're going to be painting a simple holiday wreath. I love doing wreaths for cards. I think they're one of the easiest things to do, but also one of the most satisfying things to do. They're simple, but fun and delicate and beautiful. So that is what we are going to do. So I have my cold press 100% cotton watercolor paper here, cut in a 4x6. I have my Meliang watercolor set. I have a size 8 round brush. I might grab some more detail brushes, water paper towel, and we're ready to go. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is give yourself a light sketch of a circle. You don't have to go all the way around, and you want it to be very, very light. So I'm just going to do a really light sketch of a circle, like so. You can always use a template, a coffee cup, whatever you have, to give yourself that idea. I'm going to do it just slightly above so I can write a message underneath. And then I'm just going to gently erase any lines that I don't need and just lighten up the circle. I know it's very, very light. You don't really need to see. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I want to add my berry elements on my wreath as first, and then I'm going to work my way around to adding the greenery. Now there are a couple ways you could do this. If you have masking fluid, this would be a really great opportunity to use this, just to make it a little bit easier. But if you don't, you can just go in with your berries first. I think I'm going to not use it just in case people don't have it. But if you wanted to do your masking fluid, then do your greenery once it dries. And then when you lift it, you can do the red over top. It just might be easier to like do some greenery that kind of flows over or behind the berries. But we'll just keep it nice and simple for now. Okay. So I'm going to start off with some red, of course, nice cherry red. And I'm going to do a berry here. You know what? We're going to do our berries where some of them are lighter values. So I'm going to do 1, 2 that are dark. They're not touching. Maybe, up here? No, here. Just a small one. Like so. Then I'm going to completely wash off my brush. Dry it just a little bit, and I'm going to do one in the middle here, and it's just going to slightly touch that red so you get a lighter value, sort of. I had a lot of dark red on that first one, so it's bleeding in quite a bit. I'll wash off my brush again, dry it, and I'll do another light one here. Just a cluster of berries. And I'm trying to lift some of that color because I do want these to be lighter. Like that. Okay, then I'm going to do another little cluster over here, I think. So I'm going to try not to go as dark. I want it dark, but I don't want a lot of water because the water then seeps into those lighter values and it just becomes a little bit too much. One, two, maybe I'll do just one more. 3. That's kind of more the look I want to go for. Again, I'm going to try and lift. I'm going to try and lift these just so they're lighter. There we go. There, and then I'm going to do one up here as well. One little cluster up there. And you can always add more as you go. Fix this one a little bit. There. Nice and light. There. I think
I think that's good. I know it's like hard to see. Actually, I might do another one over here. And then another small one right there. There. Okay. Okay, so I want those to dry before we continue. Okay, now I'm going to start with some bigger leaves. So I'm going to grab a little bit of my green. I'm also going to add a little bit of blue to it. I want to make it like a cooler blue. I don't know what blue this is, but a blue. I'm going to lighten it up. And I'm going to go around like this. You can even turn it if it's easier. And I'm going to do longer leaves like that. Remember a V shape when you're doing your stem. You don't ever want it coming out side to side. You want a nice long kind of V shape like that. Pretty. I'm going to do one over here. I'm going to do a smaller one over here so it doesn't come out so far because it's touching the edge. Like that. You can even have one kind of coming behind the berries here. See, this is where the masking fluid would come in handy before we put in the berries. So you could just paint right over the masking fluid instead of having to carefully go around berries, but this works too. And then I'm going to do another little sprig here. So anytime I'm doing a wreath like this, I try and work in odd numbers. So groups of 3, sometimes 5, to get some balance. You don't want it to be symmetrical where you're working in even numbers. And hold on, I'll show you. Where you would have like berry, berry, leaf, leaf, you know what I mean? Where it's like same on both sides. You want this kind of like triangular shape almost. It just looks a little bit more balanced and more pleasing to the eye. Okay, I am gonna do, I'm trying to think, do I want to do another one this way? I think we're gonna continue moving that way with some more elements. Okay, then I'm going to grab a little bit of olive green. And I'm going to do smaller leaves. Like a little. Like I said, I find this is one of the most relaxing things to do. Because you can just keep adding greenery like that. So pretty. Okay, so a little like V or a Y shape, and then have smaller leaves, just using the tip of your brush. And the leaves are all going the same way. And I feel like it's important to have variety in the shape and the size of them. It just kind of helps to balance it out. Maybe have a little one kind of coming behind, because I do want to do some pine needle ones coming out after to finish it off. Do a couple that are kind of peeking behind like that. Okay. I think I do want to do some like white berries as well. So I'm going to grab a brown and I'm going to do a couple little stems like so, kind of coming out from behind this bigger one. And you could do white berries, you could do, let's do it behind these red ones. Actually, maybe I should have some pine behind those. I could have the berries. I don't know, maybe over here. We could even just use these brown stems for the pine needles. So, okay, so I'm gonna grab a really light wash of my indigo, and I'm just gonna do soft little indigo. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I feel like it adds a little something. A little bit of softness in there. So just the smallest amount of indigo. So it's like we're doing the shadows of white berries. And then I'll add some pine needles, I think, to those as well. But yeah, the really light value of the indigo adds such a nice softness to it. So contrast in color, so having those dark red berries and then having these really soft, really light value indigo ones is just such a nice addition. Like that. Okay. Then I'm going to grab a smaller brush or one with a better point. I'm going to do some more brown stems. And we're going to be doing some pine needles coming off of these ones. So you can have them coming into the wreath as well. Okay. Then I'm going to grab a green and just gently, I'm going to start doing these little long, not little, so like thin pine strokes like that. So you can do like the short needles if you like. I kind of like the way that these longer ones look. I'm going to put them around some of the white berries. And I just love the way they look and they move, kind of making their way all the way around. Like that. And just filling in any little gaps. And I'm just using this kind of like flicking motion to get that tapered edge of the pine needle. So just a flick. And then you're just kind of looking at any areas that need a little bit more density. I think we're pretty good though. Like that. I really like it. And then I'm gonna do one little one over here. Okay. Then you can write your message below. I always like to add a little bit of shimmer. I have this other set here that has a nice gold. Obviously, if you want to do some of your berries, like a nice gold color, you could instead. Just gonna do like some little gold dots throughout. Just think it adds a little bit of a nice sparkle to it. Like that. And there we go. So you can add your message at the bottom. And there is our simple holiday wreath. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on all my other platforms for tons more content. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye everyone.